Well, hello and a very warm welcome to Business Today TV. I am Chetan Bhutani. Maruti Suzuki has come out with its annual set of numbers for the financial year and, of course, for the month of March. And I'm joined by Mr. Shashank Srivastava. Thank you, Shashank San, for speaking to us. Give us a
Thank you.
wholesome picture of all the numbers and the good, bad, and the ugly.
Well, this year which went by, April to March, if you're talking about the financial year, has been really good for the industry. Industry numbers, 38.9 lakhs compared with the last year's number of 30.7. So that's a very good increase of almost 27%. Both on the wholesale and the retail, both are record and the highest ever numbers for the industry. As also for Maruti Suzuki, the total numbers for this year, 19.04 lakh. I'm talking only of Maruti Suzuki. I'm not including the numbers which we are supplying to the OEMs, other OEMs. 19.04, including the highest ever export of 2.59 lakhs, compared with the previous highest of 18.62, which was in 18-19. So that's a good jump. And I think this has been done despite the fact that we have had issues relating to the semiconductor problem still continues. So all in all, very good numbers. 7 out of the top 10 models from Maruti Suzuki. 4 out of the top 4 models are Maruti Suzuki. And WagonR, number 1, number 2 is Baleno, Swift, Alto, and then Swift. So overall, I think it's been a good year so far.
Right. So, sir, it's been down marginally by a few percentage points. Any particular reason for that?
Which one?
The domestic sales, I think, which was going down to 1.70 lakh.
You're talking about March?
March, yes, sir.
So March, of course, it's I think end of the year. We need to look at the overall picture, because overall the sale for Maruti Suzuki 16.45 lakh against 13.65 last year. So that's a jump of almost 21%. So overall, even in domestic market, pretty strong growth, I would say. Yes, the March number can be affected because we were also affected by production constraint. Q3, we lost 46,500 vehicles because of production. We are working out Q4 losses also on the production front. We also see some losses in April as well because of the semiconductor issue. So I think this semiconductor issue is still lingering. I suppose it will linger on for a few more quarters.
Right. And sir, I was seeing the numbers. The dispatches to dealers in the market is also down about 3%. Any reasons for that?
So March numbers, as I said, is all dependent on both the availability side and also managing our inventory, the factory as well as the dealer network. So really, instead of going for the 1 month, this is a great time to actually look at the whole year. And that takes care of all the fluctuation which could happen because of production losses or inventory management.
Absolutely. Maruti Suzuki could be easily be termed as one of the best performing OEMs or vehicle manufacturers. In fact, you've seen a record number of the highest ever sales. What are you attributing this to, sir? Is there a shift towards the brand, or the brand is working proactively towards getting more SUVs in the market? What is the performance of Grand Vitara? Tell us the shift that, out of 10, top 6 and top 4 are Maruti Suzuki vehicles.
Yeah, so I think it's a combination of many factors. But I think essentially we always work on the premise that customer comes first, and we are focused on what the consumer wants. Right? For example, you just mentioned SUVs. There has been a trend towards SUVs, and we had only one vehicle, Brezza, there. We launched the Vitara in September of last year. And as a result, our market share there went up from about 11% to this quarter of almost 17.5%, 18%. And going forward, when we bring the Fronx and the Jimny, for which we have had good bookings so far, we unveiled those 2 products in the Auto Expo in January. We do hope that we will become the number 1 SUV manufacturer also. And if we do that, then our market share would obviously go up, because not only will we beat the market, the industry in terms of growth, but also in the SUV segment, we will become the number 1. Chetan, by the way, we are number 1 in MUV, that is the B segment anyway. When you include the MPVs, for the last 5 years, we have been number 1. But in SUV, we were not number 1, and we will be hopefully number 1 in the coming year. So that's one of the other big reasons why we will see larger volumes expectedly, and we hope to grow faster than the industry.
Shashank, sir, also, how is Maruti currently standing when it comes to the market share of SUVs, and what is the percentage that you're aiming for the present financial year?
So as I mentioned, if you take the last year, that is 21-22, it was about 11%, 10.6% or so. If you take the full year, this year, it is about 13%. If you take last quarter, it is about 17.5, 18%. So next year, with the Fronx and the Jimny, we hope to reach about 25% of the SUV market. And that should make us number one because that market is pretty fragmented. By the way, Chetan, for the non-SUV, our market share is in excess of 65%.
Of course, so your company is the leader there. I'll also ask you on the record number of exports, sir. What is happening? Why so much? A great number of growth numbers that are coming in for exports. What is really happening is the world globally recognizing that Maruti cars need to be on the roads.
Yes, of course, that's true because, Maruti Suzuki is very strong. We obviously, and in the countries like some of the countries like Bolivia or Chile and Brunei and such countries, we are actually the number one country as far as number company as far as exports goes. So our export numbers, which are record last 2.38 lakhs, and in 22-23 they went up further to 2.59 lakhs, largely in areas of Latin America, Middle East, and and Africa. So, like in South Africa, in Ivory Coast, in Ethiopia, we have seen some really good numbers jump, as also in Saudi Arabia, for example.
Right. Also, son, we saw the Jimny and the Fronx in January. When officially do they come on Indian roads?
Fronx, you should see the sales starting towards the last week of April, okay, and a couple of weeks later, the Jimny. We have had good bookings. We have, in fact, bookings excess of 41,000 so far.
So both of them combined?
Yes, 24,500 so of Jimny and about 16,500 of the Fronx.
Absolutely, sir. And also there have been a lot of discussions about the pricing is concerned for especially the Jimny. Could our viewers get a sense of how the pricing could be? Would it be very premiumly available, or the middle class would be able to have fun with the Jimny? I know the pricing is a bit sensitive issue, but yes, a picture could be given out, sir.
Yeah, so obviously we have seen the really passionate consumers, especially of vehicles like niche vehicles like the Jimny. They are really they are willing to pay the extra amount for have all those facilities of off-roading. For example, Jimny is a 4-wheel drive vehicle, so I would expect it to be priced accordingly. And yes, otherwise Maruti Suzuki has always been competitive in pricing, and I'm sure Fronx and Jimny will be no different.
Shashank, what is the waiting time for the vehicles currently, and what is the plan for clearing the backlog?
So the total pending bookings so far is about 380,000 as of today. Okay. But largely now it is you can divide our models into two classes. One class of vehicles where we have enough production, we are able to give vehicles very quickly. The WagonR, the Alto, the Espresso, the Celerio, the Ignis, and so on. But then there is another class of vehicle where production has been an issue for some time because of the semiconductor issue, which is like Ertiga, Brezza, XL6, Desire, Baleno. Those are the vehicles which have got waiting periods. The highest waiting period is in Ertiga, which is like almost 34 to 36 weeks.
All right. And Shashank, if I come to semiconductor shortage, has it eased out? You mentioned it in the press release also that the company is facing some headwinds because of that. So when are we seeing this problem sorting out in this fiscal year?
Hopefully this fiscal year, but as we had mentioned at the time in the release, the February numbers, that March would probably be impacted with the semiconductor issue and production will impact, and you have seen that getting impacted. In fact, you had asked some questions relating to March, which is like a specific time period issue. We see the effect in April as well, and this quarter. I think this problem will persist for a few more quarters. That's one. Second, if you ask me when it will become normal, I can I can honestly say that I don't know, because the visibility of the semiconductor related parts availability is just not there. So we get a weekly update, and accordingly we modify our projections, and that is what we can inform.
Absolutely. And how the commodity price is shaping out? Is there a price hike on the cards?
So we will be hiking the price today, as you know. We have already announced. But that is also related not just to the general inflationary increases, but also because of the phase 2 BS6 norms regulations, for which we have already converted all our vehicles. So that's the other reason why we have to increase the prices. Commodity prices, some commodities have softened, but on the other hand, some commodities are actually expected to harden, like steel, for example. Some of the rare earth metals, those have softened a little bit. But obviously, we have to keep watching which way the commodity prices move. Material cost obviously is a very important thing to watch for auto OEMs, because 75 to 77% of the overall cost structure for any OEM is material cost. So we'll keep watching the situation. But of course, we have had a price hike today as well.
Right. Also, last thing before I let you go, the supplies to Toyota has been under pressure. Is it true, or the supplies to Toyota are normal as far as vehicles go?
It is normal. I think this year we did about 61,000 or so vehicles, and they are as per. Of course, when the overall model availability changes, then obviously supplies to them also get affected.
Right. Shashank, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Chetan.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.